morning, students. So again we are here with our physics class, and today we are moving to the balance of the chapter magnetic effects of electric current. So we already had 2 classes. I hope you understood and you read the text thoroughly so that we can move to our next topic. So in the last class we are discussing with the magnetic field due to a straight current carrying conductor, isn't it? Hope you are clear with that. And what is the rule used to find the direction of magnetic field? As it is right hand thumb rule. And if you know the rule, you can find any direction, any question you can solve. Okay, if you are knowing the rule. And today again we are moving to the next part, that is magnetic field due to a current carrying loop, circular loop. Okay, in the last class we studied the magnetic field for a straight current carrying conductor. So if I have a straight current carrying conductor like this, I know with our activity it is clear that we have circular or concentric circles around this circular current carrying loop, which represents the direction of the magnetic field. Now if I want some more stronger magnetic field, what I have to do is I have to bend this in the form of a circle. I can bend the straight wire in the form of a circle. So if it is in the form of a circle or circular loop, I can say how is the magnetic field. Okay, how can we find the magnetic field? For that, again we can perform the same activity that we have done in the last class. What was the activity? As we are taking a rectangular cardboard, then we are connecting a circular loop by making 2 holes in the rectangular cardboard. Then we are sprinkling some iron fillings. This circular loop is connected to a battery. When we switch on the battery, what will happen is this current carrying loop will behave like a magnet. As a result, the iron powder that we sprinkled on the cardboard will align themselves in the form of certain patterns. And what is a pattern? Or how can we find the direction of magnetic field? So those are things are explained in this class. Starting. Okay. So let us move to the activity first, and then we'll come back to the concept. For activity, as I told, we need a rectangular cardboard, then a circular current carrying wire or a loop we can take, then battery is needed, key is needed, and also some iron powder is needed to sprinkle over the rectangular cardboard. So let us look to the diagram first. Okay. So let us move to the activity. For that, as I told, we have a rectangular cardboard. Okay. Then a circular loop is there. So making 2 holes on this rectangular cardboard here and there, you can pass the circular loop through it. Then the 2 ends of the loop are connected to a battery. Understood? Then you can place a key also, so that when you switch it on, current starts to move through this circular loop. Understand? So this is the rectangular cardboard. This is the circular loop. Okay. Circular current is passing through it. Clear? When the switch is on. Now what will happen? Before switching it on, I can place some iron fillings there on the rectangular board. So when I switch it on, this current carrying loop will behave like a magnet, isn't it? And I can notice the patterns here. What about the patterns? You can see the concentric circles. At this point, if I am noting, I can see the concentric circles like this. At this point also, concentric circles are formed. And towards the center, it will be like this. Okay. The concentric circles will move like this, and towards the center it will be like a straight line. What does it mean? As the circles at each point, if I am taking each point, it will be similar to that of a straight wire. As I told, if you are considering a straight wire, there will be concentric circles, right? So for this point, if I am taking, the direction of current is in this direction, isn't it? So here a concentric circle is formed. Then again concentric circle is formed. This will continue to move towards the center as well as outside. So as it goes here, as the distance increases, the field will become weaker. But towards the center, if I am considering, since it is a closed loop, inside, both from both sides the magnetic field lines are coming, so that it means that at the center the magnetic field will be stronger. Okay, the strength is increased. Why? Because from both sides the magnetic field lines are moving towards the center. So what will happen? More magnetic field lines will be at the center, so that the strength can be increased. Clear? That's why I told earlier that instead of using a straight wire to get more magnetic field, I can bend this wire in the form of a loop or a circle, so that more magnetic field can be produced with the help of a circular loop. Clear? So this is the activity, and this is what explained in this case. That means if we are using a circular loop, the magnetic field lines will be concentric circle at each point, but towards the center as it moves, it will be straight lines, which indicate that the field is getting stronger. The field is uniform at the center, and also the field is stronger towards the center, because from both sides the magnetic fields are moving towards the center. Understand? So this is how a circular loop is connected. Now my question is, how can you increase the strength of magnetic field again in the case of circular loop? Or on what factors the magnetic field depends? Can anyone guess? Yes, the first factor is, listen carefully, if I am increasing this current, okay, by increasing the current, I can increase the strength of magnetic field. In the last case also, in the case of a straight current carrying conductor also, when the amount of current is increased, what will happen? Its magnetic field will also get increased. Isn't it? The strength or the intensity of magnetic field also get increased. Similar is the case here also. That means when I am increasing the current, more current will be flowing through the circular loop. As a result, more magnetic field lines will be produced, which indicate that the strength of magnetic field is increased. That is the first case. Okay. Now here I am considering a circular loop. For example, this is my circular loop, and it consists of a single wire, copper wire. One single wire is there. Let us assume like that. If the number of coils is increased in this circular loop, if the number of turns is increased in this circular loop, anyway it is a conductor, right? It may be a copper wire or any conducting wire I am using. And the number of turns, if I am increasing, again what will happen? The strength of magnetic field is increased. So the first case is by increasing the current. Second case is by increasing the number of turns of the coil. By increasing the number of turns of the coil. Turn, you know, means windings will be there. Okay, if the number of windings is increased, the strength will also get increased. That you can clearly identify with the help of activity. By using a coil which is having more number of turns over it, the strength of magnetic field also get increased. Okay, so the second factor is increasing the number of turns of the coil. Okay, now in the case of a circular loop, as I told, towards the center from both sides the magnetic field lines are moving. So if the radius is increased, what will happen? That means if this is my first loop and this is my second loop. Okay, this is my second loop. In this case, you know, the radius is increased. Compared to this, the radius is increased, isn't it? So as the radius increases, the strength of magnetic field decreases. As the radius increases, the strength of magnetic field decreases. That means from both sides, the magnetic field lines are moving like this. Again from this point, in this field of view, if I am saying, as the field lines move, what will happen? The strength will become getting weaker, no? So if the distance is increased, if this is a large coil having a larger radius, what will happen is the strength of magnetic field will get decreased. So, in order to increase the strength of magnetic field, what I have to do is I have to decrease the radius. Okay, the radius should be decreased. The radius of the coil should be decreased. So, I can say that the magnetic field is directly proportional to current as well as the number of turns, and it is inversely proportional to radius. Okay, when you are moving to 12th standard, you have to study the equations for this. So now I am not saying the equation, but you understood the concept that the radius should be decreased to increase the strength of magnetic field, and also the current, amount of current as well as the number of turns can be increased to increase the strength of magnetic field. Clear? So this is the activity for circular loop, or to find the magnetic field due to a circular loop. How can you explain? As in the case of a circular loop, at each point if I am taking, there will be concentric circles, and as it moves towards the center, what will happen is the strength of the magnetic field is increased. And at the center, if I would say, it depends on two factors. First one is the current and second one is the radius. It is directly proportional to current. As the current is increased, the strength of magnetic field also increases. But it is inversely proportional to radius of the circular loop. That means as the radius is increased, the strength of magnetic field is decreased. Again, if I am increasing the number of turns, over this coil, what will happen? As the number of turns is increased, more amount of current can pass through it. As a result, the strength is increased. Strength of magnetic field is increased. So, how can you increase the strength of magnetic field? Means you can use three cases. First one is the increasing the current, increasing the number of turns, and again decreasing the radius of the coil. Clear? So this is all about the magnetic field due to a circular current carrying loop. Okay, now we will move to the next section. So now we are moving to another important topic in this lesson, that is solenoid. Okay, solenoid. S-O-L-E-N-O-I-D. So what is a solenoid, or what is the use of solenoid? Is there any purpose in making a solenoid? Okay, so those things are discussed in this section. So first of all, we will move to the definition of a solenoid. Okay, so a solenoid can be defined as a long coil of insulated copper wire wound in the form of a helix. Okay, so long coil of insulated copper wire wound in the form of a helix, that is solenoid. What does it mean? You have a coil like structure, and it is insulated copper wire. Okay, so it is a long coil like structure which is made up of insulated copper wire. So this is called solenoid. Now, how is it connected to magnetism? Or how can you change this solenoid to a magnet? How? Yes, since it is a current carrying wire, copper wire is a current carrying wire. So, you can connect this solenoid to the ends of a battery. Okay, so I am connecting this solenoid to the ends of a battery, that is in this way I can connect. So this is the positive and this is the negative terminal. Now the current starts to flow through the solenoid. At that time, the solenoid will behave like a magnet. Isn't it? The solenoid will behave like a magnet, and actually it is showing the properties of a bar magnet. That is a specialty. The solenoid will behave like a bar magnet, similar to the properties of the bar magnet, similar to the magnetic field lines of a bar magnet, similar to the poles of a bar magnet. So it will behave like a bar magnet. Understand? So how can you draw the field lines of a solenoid? Very important question. Draw the magnetic field lines for a current carrying solenoid. Okay. So only when it is connected to a battery it will behave like a magnet, and after that if you are asked to draw the magnetic field lines, you can draw the field lines similar to that of a bar magnet. How? Yes, it will be continuous curves. Isn't it? It will be continuous curves like this. Clear? And here one end will behave as North Pole and the other end will behave as South Pole. So the magnetic field lines will start from the North Pole and ends at the South Pole. You know that. Ends at the South Pole. So there is a North Pole as well as South Pole. Now how can you identify these two poles? As after connecting to a battery, if you are placing a bar magnet near this solenoid, a bar magnet has a North Pole and a South Pole, isn't it? So when you place a bar magnet near this solenoid, if you are placing the South Pole of the bar magnet near this end, it is getting repelled. Suppose it is getting repelled. What does it mean? As if this end will be South Pole and the other end will be North Pole. Clear? That is, like poles will repel and unlike poles will attract. Similarly, you can find or identify the poles of a solenoid by placing a bar magnet near the solenoid. Understand? Solenoid is a long coil of insulated copper wire wound in the form of what? A helix. This is helix. Clear? When the solenoid is connected to a battery, the solenoid will behave like a magnet. Okay. Now, if you are asked to draw the magnetic field lines, it is actually same or similar to that of a bar magnet. So it has a North Pole as well as South Pole. Now inside the solenoid, the magnetic field is uniform, which can be indicated by parallel lines. We already told in the case of a bar magnet, it has two poles, North and South Pole. This can be identified with the help of a bar magnet by placing a bar magnet near the solenoid, and we can identify the South and North poles of the solenoid. Clear? Now, inside this solenoid, if you are placing a magnetic material, for example, soft iron. Soft iron is a very good magnetic material which can be easily magnetized. So if I am placing a piece of soft iron inside this coil, what will happen? The soft iron get magnetized. Okay, so by placing a soft iron inside this coil with the help of current, it will behave like a magnet, as I told, and if there is a material placed inside the solenoid, it will also get magnetized. And a soft iron like material will get easily magnetized. Suddenly it gets magnetized. And such magnets are known as electromagnets. What is that? Electromagnets. So what are electromagnets? Electromagnets are actually working on the magnetic effect of electric current. Electromagnet work on magnetic effect of electric current. That means only with the help of electricity it will work. It is a temporary magnet. Understand? When I switch it off, what will happen? As the magnetization will stop, this will be demagnetized. This will come back to its original type. First, how it was. Like that it will become. Understand? So, electromagnets actually works on the magnetic effect of electric current. Or how can you make an electromagnet? As if you are placing a soft iron like material, you can place it inside the solenoid. By placing or by passing current, this will turn into a strong magnet. This soft iron will get easily magnetized, and this electromagnet is a very strong magnet. Even though it is a temporary magnet, it is very strong. Okay, it can be used for various purposes. But one thing is that if you are removing the current, if you are switching it off, this will not work. This will stop. Okay, this will change its magnetic property. That is the main thing. So, an electromagnet works on magnetic effect of electric current. Clear? And why we are selecting a soft iron? Is because soft iron will get easily magnetized as well as it can be easily demagnetized. That means when we switch it off, the magnetic property will get stopped for a soft iron. But if you are using a steel-like material, even though we switch it off, the magnetic property will persist in that, continue to remain in that steel-like material. Understand? That is why we are using soft iron to make electromagnet. Means we need that particular soft iron as a temporary magnet. We need an electromagnet. Electromagnet is a temporary magnet. It works only under the effect of electric current. Clear? But if steel-like material is used, and if I am placing steel inside this solenoid, when I pass current through it, it will also get magnetized. But when I switch it off, it will not lose its magnetic property. It will be there. Understand? But a soft iron, it can be easily magnetized as well as it can be easily demagnetized. That is why we are choosing soft iron instead of what? Instead of steel. Clear? That is also a very good question. Okay. Now we will move to the uses of electromagnets. Okay. We will move to what are the uses of electromagnets. First, we will have a comparison between electromagnet and a bar magnet. Okay. As we know, bar magnet is a permanent magnet, whereas electromagnet is a temporary magnet. That is the first and the foremost difference. So, electromagnet is a temporary magnet and bar magnet is a permanent magnet. Second one is, in the case of a bar magnet, it is having comparatively weak force of attraction. Okay, weak force of attraction. But here electromagnet, it is having strong magnetic force. Electromagnet is having a strong magnetic force. So the first difference is electromagnet is a temporary magnet, bar magnet is a permanent magnet. Then electromagnet is having strong magnetic force, bar magnet is having comparatively weak force of attraction. Clear? Then here the strength of the electromagnet can be changed. But in the case of a bar magnet, when at the time of manufacture it is manufactured and its strength can't be changed while we use. How can we change the strength here? As I told, by increasing the current. Okay, the solenoid will behave like a magnet, you know. How can we increase the strength there? Is by increasing the amount of current or by increasing the number of turns. Similar way, here electromagnet, it can be increased. The strength can be increased by changing the amount of current passing through it, changing the amount of current passing through it, or by increasing the number of turns. Increasing the number of turns. Okay, in the case of solenoid also, we can increase the strength of magnetic field by increasing the current or by increasing the number of turns. Okay, then next one is polarity can be changed. If it is a fixed one or if it is a bar magnet, its poles will not change. Same, it is fixed, no? But in the case of an electromagnet, the polarity can be changed by changing the direction of current, because current is passing as by us. So if you are changing the direction of current. Clear? Now, when we explain about the uses of electromagnet in hospitals, normally doctors use this electromagnet to take some iron or steel pieces. If it passed into a patient's eye, this electromagnet can be used to take it off. Okay, so that is one use. Then it is used in magnetic deviation train. You may have heard this, and it is actually not running on its track. It floats above its track, produced by with the help of computer controlled electromagnets. Okay, that is magnetic deviation train. Clear? So it is not actually running on its wheels. With the help of strong computer controlled electromagnets, it is floating above the tracks. That is magnetic deviation train. Then next is, it is used in cranes. Okay, electromagnets are also used in cranes. So many applications are there, and you know the uses of permanent magnets, because so many applications, microphones, speakers, wherever you are seeing that magnet It has various purposes, you know that. And mainly for making this the electromagnets, we are using materials like, for making the permanent magnets, we are using materials like cobalt steel, then chromium steel, alnico. So these all things can be used. Carbon steel, chromium steel, etc. can be used. So these are used for making permanent magnets. That is the bar magnet like things. And various shapes are there. As I told in the first class, various shapes are there for the magnets. So these are all about the electromagnets and permanent magnets. Okay. So today we have discussed the magnetic field due to a current carrying circular loop, then solenoid, then the magnetic field lines for a solenoid, electromagnets. How can you produce an electromagnet with the help of a solenoid? Why we are using or preferring soft iron instead of steel like materials? Then uses of electromagnets, uses of permanent magnets, then comparison between permanent magnet and temporary magnet, or electromagnet and bar magnet. So many things we have discussed. So read your text thoroughly. Okay, go through each and every point as you are going to attend the board exams. It is very necessary. So read the text thoroughly and try to prepare notes by your own. Okay, work out the maximum questions that you get. Okay, and until we meet the next week, thank you and bye.